Hi guys! About a year ago, after season 7 of The Walking Dead ended, I made a video about how the show isn't as bad as people are calling it out to be. With Negan being introduced as a bad guy, with the series evolving to be a type of show where there were a lot of different communities involved, I didn't just think that we were going to still keep a good show going with The Walking Dead. I actually thought that it was on the way of becoming even better than it used to be.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong. Wrong.
Never in the history of The Walking Dead has the show felt like such a chore. I'm not even excited when, like, a new episode is coming out. It's more like, oh god, a new episode of The Walking Dead to sit through. Yay. Hurrah for that.
Why do I do this to myself? Every week, I watch Rick whine and make that face. Yes. Yes, that face. Yeah, just surrender to Negan. Maybe that would not bore us as fucking much. Oh god, Michonne, you're looking again like you fucking took a shit.
Carl.
Yeah, Carl. He did? Okay, that could get us somewhere.
I need to talk to Jadis.
You do that, Rick. You just
Weapons, people.
You just do that.
I can't just give that up.
Again? This is gonna be an issue again?
Went with me to the sanctuary.
Oh boy.
It's safe to say that everybody involved should do something about it.
Do something, cat.
So, that's what we came to do. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Movie Void, where we review whatever the fuck we feel like reviewing, and we are looking at The Walking Dead again. Look, the easiest thing to do would be just to make a rant video about all the things that went wrong and how shitty the show has gotten nowadays. But we don't take the easy way out here at the Movie Void. No. We go deeper.
Everything about you so deep, I can't sleep.
So I decided to meet my good friend Monty, the horror miser, in the zombie apocalypse and discuss on how we could fix The Walking Dead or save The Walking Dead and make it be the show we used to love. So let's dive into the zombie apocalypse, shall we now? Oh, hi, zombie apocalypse.
Oh, hey, Johnny, what's up?
Oh, hey, Monty.
Thank you, Ivan, for allowing me to come onto your channel, and this is going to be interesting collaboration.
Glad to have you here, too.
Here are 4 of my ways I think we can save The Walking Dead. One way I think we can save The Walking Dead is that we can definitely cut down the episodes from a 16-episode season to 10 to 13. I think the 16 episode is just too much. We get 8, and then we get a gap because they don't want to compete with the NFL football playoffs. And once the Super Bowl is over, we get the next 8. And unfortunately, because of that, we get a lot of filler episodes that doesn't make any sense. We get episodes about characters we don't care about. The main story loses focus throughout the 16 episode. Because it's spaced out so far in advance, we don't get any good storylines or something that continues the story. Like we can get like the first 3 episodes starts off pretty well, but then we get a bunch of filler episodes, and all of a sudden we get cut off on the main story. And then there's lack of character development, especially between Carol and Morgan. They become forgettable characters, or we forget that they're actually in the storyline. So definitely need to cut the storyline off. I would cut the season off from 10 to 13 episodes. At least that way we won't get the break. You get a complete storyline. The main storyline gets main focus off of that, and we don't have those stupid filler episodes.
If you watch the first 3 episodes of a season of The Walking Dead, that is where most of the plot happens. There, and at the 8th episode, and maybe the 9th episode. And then the last 3 episodes of the season. The other episodes that are there are actually more for character development, or even some origin stories, or just like a situation a certain group is in and so on. People want to find out more about the plot, and more about the characters they care about. It's things like that Governor origin story, or that strange Tara episodes where she meets those women in the forest that really feel long and tiresome and just like filler and are not really getting the show anywhere.
The second one should be remove Scott Gimple as showrunner or executive producer. Now, a lot of people were happy when it was announced that he was no longer going to be the executive producer, but AMC gave him a raise. He is now the overseer of both shows, both The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. However, somebody else is going to take over the showrunner part of The Walking Dead, and a lot of people feel as though that's a sigh of relief. Maybe now the show will be a little bit better, and we won't have that stupid-ass fake-out death that they did with Glenn back in Season 6, which I thought was terrible. Now, a lot of people were upset about that, and especially upset about how the opening of Season 7 went. Now, I didn't have a problem with that myself because, as this is based on the comics, I knew that Negan killed Glenn in issue 100 of The Walking Dead. So I really didn't have a problem with them killing Abraham and Glenn off on the Season 7 premiere. But unfortunately, because of the fake-out death that they did to Glenn, I thought that Robert Kirkman would not kill off Glenn. Because he has made subtle changes between what's happened in comics and what's happening on the TV show. But the fact that he did that fake-out death and he goes and kills Glenn in the 7th season premiere, it really pissed off a lot of people. And even people who didn't read the comics, they were pissed off about that anyway. So that really caused the ratings to drop off. And, well, I didn't have a problem with that. You can't do fake-out deaths on main characters. Either you're going to kill the character off or you're not going to kill the character off. It's plain and simple. No more fake-out deaths. Now, I know he was trying to do it for dramatic purposes, which is fine. But if you're going to do a fake-out death, then don't kill the character for real at all. You do the fake-out death, that's fine. I mean, we've seen characters come back when we thought they were dead, and that's fine. If you're going to do that, good. But don't do a fake-out death and then kill the character off later on. That doesn't make any sense. It cheapens the dramatic effect that you had when you did the fake-out death. So, yeah, it definitely needs to be removed because of that, and hopefully this new executive producer, I forget her name, will bring some semblance of relevance to The Walking Dead, as Scott Gimple has not.
The new showrunner Monty is talking about is none other than Angela Kang. And Angela Kang has been in the Walking Dead writers team since Season 2 now, and she pretty much knows the show almost better than anyone on the crew. And there are a lot of shows she has written herself so far. So let's take a look at some of the highlights. In Season 2, she started off with that episode where they find out about the zombies that were hidden in the barn, and Glenn confronts Shane about it, and all chaos breaks loose. Then she also made the episode in Season 2 where Dale talks about the group falling apart and everybody losing their humanity. Most notably in Season 3 was the negotiating episode between Rick and the Governor. That was also written by Angela Kang. In Season 4, it was the second episode where the group has to deal with a virus infecting the cell. Also, the 12th episode still, where Daryl and Beth have that moment on the road, and also the season finale where our group finds the so-called sanctuary, Terminus. Other notable episodes are Season 5's Coda, Episode 8, the last episode where we see Beth, but also in Season 6, she wrote Thank You, Episode 3, the episode with Glenn's fake-out death that everybody hates. In season 7, she actually wrote like 4 or 5 episodes. Most notably being the one where Carl has to sing the song for Negan and shows him his eye.
Christ! That is disgusting. No wonder you covered that up.
And also the one with Easy Street, where we see Daryl trapped in that cell. And of course, the last episode of season 7 where the all war breaks loose. So we pretty much have like a very mixed blend of episodes. Some negative ones, some very positive ones. And we can't really say in what direction Angela Kang will be taking the show at all, almost.
Reefs are only found in shallow tropical seas. They may look like colorful rocks or even plants, but Carl is really an animal. Carl! Are stationary. A small piece of Carl may be made of hundreds of polyps.
But she seems to know the show very well, so I don't know. But it's hard to imagine The Walking Dead getting any worse than it is now, don't you think? So I have high hopes for Angela.
The third thing that they need to do is time to whittle down the cast. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's Scott Gimple's or the writers simply do not know what to do with all these characters that they have. And you really shouldn't have a bad transition between the characters. I would say between the comic books, they simply do a good job of all the characters they have. But since they've added all these characters, it seems as though a lot of people are not getting the type of screen time or characters we don't care about. Look at Father Gabriel. It's like he's a prime example. I think he's pretty good in the comics, but in the television show, he's terrible. The same thing with Eugene. You know, you got all these characters. Aaron, and I don't even want to talk about Heath. No, I know, as I stated in my other video, the actor that plays Heath went on to do 24 Legacy. So that's the reason why we have not heard back from Heath. But that's one of the problems that you have when you're doing a TV show like this. Actors want to do other projects. Other actors have to get their screen time in. They have to be, they have to be paid. They're not going to sit around and, why do this type of show if your character is only going to be in for like 2 or 3 minutes and then doesn't appear until 3 episodes later. That's not good character build-up. But I think that's one of the main problems that they have is, there's just too many characters. The writers don't know what to do with it. So either you're going to hopefully shortening the season might make it better for character build-up, but if you're going to have all these many characters, if you don't know what to do with them, then just whittle it down. Just plain and simple. Keep it at least where you don't have a lot of filler episodes, or we don't see a character for almost 5 to 6 episodes in, and all of a sudden, bang, here they pop up now.
Do you know who this guy is? Can you tell me what this character's name is, even?
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Burger King foot lettuce.
Well, that's the problem with The Walking Dead at the moment. See, I appreciate the fact that they have a lot of different towns now, and that it's like this battle between communities, that each community has its own story. But with doing that, you have all of a sudden so many characters that you can't really remember any of them as a regular viewer anymore. So why not just keep focusing on the main faces of each town and not try to bring in the entire population of a town into the big picture? It's a little confusing and very irritating and can get the viewer very bored very quickly. And through this problem with the crazy amount of characters in this show, you also get another problem. And that is character inconsistency. Which brings me to my next idea of making The Walking Dead better. Make your characters more consistent. Remember Jesus in season 6? How he was just killing off sleeping saviors? Now look at him in season 8.
I know they killed your girlfriend. That you loved her. This isn't you.
It is now.
We're not here for revenge. It can't be about that.
It can.
it's a little untrue to him. Well, let's go on with Daryl. Remember that last scene in season 8? Where Daryl is all like, yeah, we gotta kill Negan. We gotta betray Rick. And he's like, on Maggie's side in doing that? Well, you know, Maggie has her reasons for sure. She lost her husband to Negan. She's been holding grudges ever since that happened. She wants this man dead more than anyone. But why Daryl? Daryl's like Rick's second man in command. Why does Daryl have suddenly this huge grudge against Rick, and why does he want to kill Negan so badly? It doesn't really make that much sense. I don't know. Between introducing all these characters, maybe you should like focus on our main characters and why they are doing what they are doing in the first place. It would really help the show out.
Make the zombies a threat again. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the show. I mean, when the show began, that was the main thing, was the threat of the zombies. I kind of understand that as time goes on, people get more efficient in killing walkers, as you want to put that about. But if you're not going to make them a threat again, then you're losing the whole focus of the show. The whole focus of the show is trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. Yes, I know that you have to have the human element involved in it because of how society has changed and how society has fallen, and you got to deal with bad humans such as Negan, such as the governor, you know, such as the people at Terminus Station, you know, so many other bad people that they ran into before. But you still should have the threat of the walkers. Now, I did like what Negan was trying to do, was use biological weaponry, such as the walker's blood, to infect the people at the hilltop. I thought that was a good idea. But you still need to have that threat of the walkers, and that show has lost that this season.
What I appreciate a lot about The Walking Dead is that they have proven in so many ways that people are always a bigger threat than the zombies. Because if we really had a zombie apocalypse, that would be what would happen. So at some point, zombies wouldn't really be a problem anymore, but the anarchy of the world would make people show their true evil colors. But here's the thing, even though that is a great concept in The Walking Dead, and even though I appreciate it a lot, The Walking Dead still is a zombie show. Zombies haven't really had a really threatening scene ever since that scene in season 6 where Carl lost his eye. Since then, the walkers, they've just been roaming around almost like sheep in the background, not really doing anything whatsoever. Why not think of some fresh ideas here? What if a certain group of walkers evolved and became more threatening than the other walkers? Somehow like that they grew stronger bones, or that they have this mechanism where they, when somebody cuts a body part off, that they can grow it back or something like that.
One of the most incredible organisms living in the oceans of planet Earth is the Teratopsis dorenhai, more commonly known as the immortal jellyfish. It is a tiny transparent jellyfish that was first discovered in the 1880s in the Mediterranean Sea, but can be found in many oceans around the world. The thing that makes this strange, almost alien-like creature so incredible is that it is biologically immortal. This means that the creature can be killed, but doesn't seem to die from old age.
Why not have some walkers break into a nuclear facility and suddenly mutate with some animals,
the Teratopsis dorenhai,
and become like these totally threatening creatures? I really don't know. I'm like just thinking outside the box here. I'm reaching here maybe, but there are many ways you can make zombies interesting in this show again. Totally.
So there you go, Ian. There goes my 4 ways you can save The Walking Dead. I really appreciate you allowing me to come onto your channel. And
well, thank you for being there, Monty. It was great having you.
I hope we get to do this together again on my channel, and I thank you very much. And always remember, people, horror rules.
Another good idea would be to really make some drastic plot changes. I recently saw this new zombie film called The Cured, where there was a cure found for the zombie infection, but the zombies could remember what they were doing while they were zombies. It's just an idea. If there was a cure suddenly somewhere, and the group maybe had to go to a certain city to find it, and see how the cure works, and has some side effects, and maybe it doesn't cure everyone, but just a certain group of people, and then there's this war between all the survivors. There's just so many more things you can do in The Walking Dead than keep repeating the same old story.
The Teratopsis dorenhai.
Another thing that could be like very interesting is if there was a time jump. What if like 5 to 10 years passed without there being a serious zombie attack in Alexandria, and we just see how the city developed? What if 5 to 10 years passed without there being any wars between the communities and without any serious walker threats that these towns developed? And we get some totally new different problems. Make Rick a badass. Ever since our main antagonist Negan was introduced, it's been sort of hard rooting for Rick. You know, Negan, he's pretty badass, and he always comes up with lines like this.
We're running really low on everything. We're practically starving here.
Starving? You. By practically, you mean not really.
I hope you got your shitting pants on.
What?
Your shitting pants. I hope you're wearing them right now. Because you are about to shit your pants.
Did I remind you of anybody you know?
See this? This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Oh, hell, I forgot. Your mouth is all puffed up like a baboon's ass.
We did it. All of us. Together. Even the dead guys on the ground. Hell, they get the Spirit Award for sure.
And then you have Rick, and most of the time he just does this.
Oh, no. Here, we just need some help, and we can help you.
I'll call back in 2 hours.
Please. You don't understand. You don't know. I want to show you the new world, Carl. I want to make it a reality for you. Please. It can be me. Please.
It's sort of hard to root for your protagonist if your antagonist is so fucking cool and all your protagonist is doing is crying and whining and bitching. And just look at how many times Rick has gotten his ass kicked.
I'm not gonna stand by.
And my last point is, give the show some more money. Money has always been an issue with The Walking Dead. After the spectacular season 1, AMC gave The Walking Dead half the budget of season 1 and made them do twice as many episodes. What followed was one of the most boring seasons in the history of The Walking Dead. And I'm just thinking, I don't know, maybe if The Walking Dead had just a bit more of a budget, they would be able to pull a lot more creative stuff. Look at the CGI. It is a little shitty when you have shows like Game of Thrones looking this spectacular and The Walking Dead looking like this. Another thing that happened because of budget cuts, and this is a rumor, no one has confirmed that, but it is a believable rumor.
Chandler Riggs, the actor who played Carl, was fired shortly before his 18th birthday. Chandler Riggs' father has been saying that the only reason that Carl was fired off the show was that the producers wanted to save money because after his 18th birthday, Chandler Riggs would have had to get just as much money as the adult actors in The Walking Dead. And so to save budget, they just fired the actor. And that was one of the stupidest decisions ever on the show. We saw Carl grow up on the show. We saw Carl develop from a snot-nosed little kid who didn't know much about anything at all to a type of leader and a type of smart, sane figure who had a bigger plan of the whole entire situation than Rick had most of the time. He was like one of the characters people really rooted for. He was basically the heart of The Walking Dead. And just thinking that they got rid of that character just to save money is something that pretty much makes me sick. Well, anyway, that's all we have for you guys. I'm gonna go home, away from this zombie apocalypse. Bye, zombie apocalypse!
Bye, Danny.
Well, that was fun hanging around the zombie apocalypse, don't you think? Well, guys, that's what we got. And my hopes are high that The Walking Dead is going to be the fabulous, amazing show that we used to know and love, and not this mess Season 8 was. And I'd also like to thank Monty the Horror Miser for joining us today. Please check out his channel, and while you're at it, subscribe. And also subscribe to this channel and ring that fucking bell and do the hokey pokey. You know the drill. With high hopes and great sorrow, I will part my ways from you. You guys will see me when you see me, where we will be doing Riverdale. And ta-ta.
Hot, 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 hot diggity dog. Hot diggity dog. Hot diggity. This kind of thing that just tickles my balls. Hot diggity dog. Hot diggity. This kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
What do we have here?
This kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Got my fingers crossed for a little freaky dicky.
This kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Wow! One of my top guys.
This kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Now look at him. Wow!
The Teratopsis dorenhai